Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Rimshots with Sean and Eastlink Community TV. We've been doing, actually, this is the first night that we're doing it. All across this wonderful province of ours, there's different festivals that pop up, and certainly one of my favorite ones that I had a chance to partake in last year, and again this year, is Riverfest, Rock the Bush, and we have two handsome young men here that are key parts of it. Gentlemen, welcome. Introduce yourselves for our viewers, please.
Okay, I'm Jonathan Crouse, and I guess one of the creators of Riverfest.
Jason McCorriston, ditto for the rest.
Well, and not only that, I should add, Jason is the guy who everything that looks amazing on bar stools is because of him. I just provide the stupid, big-headed, idiotic content, but Jason makes it all look good. Gentlemen, welcome. So this will be year what for Riverfest when we do it this year?
I got to factor in the bid and all that. What, 16?
Yeah, it started 2004-ish but then so they did the virtual and we missed a year, so do what you want.
Yeah.
So you guys have had
or 2023.
Yeah.
Right on. So you've had a lot of ups and downs. You had a location change last year, which I thought the venue last year was amazing. I thought that outside of an incident of somebody losing their keys, but we won't talk about that right now. But so you guys are a not-for-profit, right? You're a group of people that get together to put this thing on. You're all volunteers. Jonathan, talk a little bit about that. I've been in that world before, and it can be fun and otherwise.
Well, it's fun, and we did it that way just because that way there's no question. The acts that come and perform, they do so for stage time and for the benefit, and all the proceeds go to charity. So we split our charity as between 4-H and church in West Northfield, St. Andrew's Lutheran Church, and that's where the money goes. But then we also help out other folks, like the Cub Scouts get a car each year, that kind of stuff, little things there and here and there. So it's all just for the betterment of community and to provide some great talent.
So last year was my first year, like I said, and a couple of my takeaways were all the different acts. I mean, like there was really something for everybody. I mean, like there was a couple of bands I had heard of before that I never seen that I get to see live. But the sense of community was great too. Like all the musicians going and watching the other bands play, and there wasn't any arms crossed and judgy sort of things that Jason, you and I know can take place in a musical situation. What's your vetting process in terms of how you guys get your talent in there, and how does that work?
We can probably speak for that better than I.
We just put the word out that this is going on, and in come the submissions. So
it's been neat to watch it over the years. I mean, you see bands getting together that meet for the first time that weekend, and they're writing songs in the back room before the weekend's out. Like, it's really cool to watch.
Couple guys that caught my eye last year. I was up at somebody's camp, and somebody said to me, Shadow of Everest is going on. You have to go see these guys. And I went there. I was blown away. I had not seen those guys before. Jason, if you were around me, I bent their ear for probably a good half hour after their set. I thought they were fantastic. What I liked about it last year, and again, it was my first year, was I just thought where it was, the location was A1. Great spot. Great sight lines. What was the decision, I guess, to put it there? Because it was in Bridgewater before, is that correct?
Used to be just on the outskirts of Bridgewater in a field, actually. And we got to a point where we needed to upgrade our infrastructure. And so we decided to look elsewhere instead. And I had met Heidi and Fox Mountain through emceeing some of the country festivals and bluegrass festivals they have. And it just seemed like a cool spot, and had a chat with her, and we were able to set it up. And actually, we were there 1 year before last year, right before the world shut down.
Yeah.
Right.
So that last year was our second. This is our third year at Fox Mountain Camping Park.
So there's going to be a couple bands that I know, Jason, you had already seen the video that we did, but they had talked about partaking in the virtual Riverfest that would have been the year before last. I saw that. I thought it went over great. What were your thoughts on that? I mean, obviously something that it wasn't the best thing, but it was something that you guys were able to do to make it happen.
that's all we had. Yeah, you know what I mean? It was that or nothing. So I said, hey, what the hell? I'll put the word out. If anyone wants to do it, power to you. So, and what you see is what you get. We had 10 acts do it, which was pretty cool.
Pretty awesome. Yeah.
So yeah, there was people watching it, put it on parties and had it on big screens out in their yard and stuff. Like, so yeah, they were rocking the bush wherever they were in virtual Riverfest.
And I mean, the artistry, we had a green screen, so he had everything from us hosting at Carnegie Hall to people riding T-Rexes in the background. So it made for a fun time.
Yeah, and again, like, I guess, you know, the best of a bad situation, which you guys made it, and I mean, things were very weird, but were you able to maybe get some bands that hadn't played before hooked on that and maybe into the festival the following year?
Yeah, we did. That were on the show that people are going to see or saw or however it's working. Brian Doucette, his band, and the Rebels Prospects, they both were on there, and yeah, and they played, and
we had a few other ones.
There was a few more,
yeah. And we're going to cover some more in the next couple segments. We're on Rimshots with Sean, Eastlink Community TV. Got to get that in, obviously, Jason. We know this.
Logo.
Yeah, that's right. It's here somewhere. It's here somewhere. Just quickly before we end this segment, we've got, I don't know, maybe a minute. It's really funny because we always joke around about the whole exposure angle, and you know, but I've yet to hear anybody say anything about, oh, you're playing for free. You know, everything I hear is, they want to be there. It's the place to be. It's a good sense of community. And I'm glad you brought up the charity angle, because maybe, you know, I didn't know that. I'm finding this out now, and I think that's a very good thing where people can give back.
Well, that was our whole idea of doing it. I mean, it was just it was an idea that came forth that we should give people a place to play, because at that point, 16 years ago, it was.
We were young and we wanted to have a party.
Yeah, the idea.
We did. We were young and we did party.
We did. Yeah. But I mean, we offered some stages to some pretty cool people. I mean, you look at and some of the notable names that went on. I mean, you know, the Stanfields. That we were the first big stage they played. Andrew Hunter was there right before he got a hit song in Canada, and you know, little things like that over the years. Yeah. Short Notice was there before they changed names and format. But no, we've had some great acts on stage, and it's just it's fun to watch, fun to be a part.
Well, you know what, guys, we're just getting started here. We're going to take a little break, pay some bills, because that's what you got to do when you get a TV show now. Jason, we're learning that, but we're going to be back with Jason and Jonathan after this. Well, hey, kids, welcome back to Rimshots with Sean on Eastlink Community TV. We're with Jonathan. We're with Jason McCorriston, Riverfest. Now, you know, you said, you know, you're going on 16 years, probably some humble beginnings. And then, Jason, you and I talked about this a little bit. Then it kind of blew up to something that maybe you guys didn't see it. And then, you kind of found your sweet spot. And here we are. So talk about some Riverfest of past, like some of the things you did and some of the acts that you might have in there. You're talking to Stanfield's last segment, but who else might have been on there that people might not have known about?
Which like local talent or talent we brought?
Anybody.
Helix, Lee Aaron, Haywire, the Northern Pikes. I'm missing one of those.
That was who we brought in.
Yeah, those were the I don't know the name acts.
Yeah,
you know, we were trying something different at the time.
But we used to also bring in, like, we used to always do Sunday morning. We'd have entertainment, and we had playing that. Joel Plaskett was there one year. We had Matt Anderson there one year. Charlie Acorn was there. Like, we had a whole bunch of folks. We had Christine Campbell was there. Christine, we had a number of entertainers from all different genres. I mean, I remember little Buddy Hurdle played.
Yeah.
I think he was our oldest performer. He was in his 80s when he played Riverfest. We've had some really cool acts over the years. Well, a little piece of trivia for you. Outside of Christine, who has appeared on the show, you named some people that haven't appeared on the show. So that's mighty interesting. But anyway, that's for another day. So you guys are a board. You're a group, I guess, for lack of a better term, not for profit. Anybody that sets one of those things up, has to have a board.
Besides you two gentlemen, who else is part of your group that that partakes?
So we've got Shirley Crouse, aka Mom. She's been there from the get-go. Sean is on the board. And we've got Mark on the board. And then we've got a bunch of key volunteers. Mark volunteers as well, but then Joe is our MC for a bunch of it. He's not on the board, but he's closely connected. Michelle is our merch gal. She's there every year. We've got a key group that we're lucky enough to have follow us year to year. And that kind of tells us we're hopefully doing something well.
So anybody knows an undertaking like that, volunteers are key. And, it's often been said that it's, the people that come back are the ones they do it, A, because it's a passion for them, but B, they've been treated, I guess, the right way. What do you guys think your key is in terms of keeping your volunteers, I guess, engaged and keeping them coming back?
We're nice.
Nobody gets hurt.
Not usually. I don't know. I think it's part of the experience of it all. And then once you realize what it actually is, it's not just, hey, let's volunteer, get in for free, get hammered and stuff, because those people, they're not volunteers, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're there for themselves. You get your core group and you can rely on them. They're there to help out, lend a hand anytime you need them, whistle, hoot and holler, and they're there for you, right?
Yeah.
So.
And they get to have some fun too.
Exactly.
So, it's not all work. I love the fact, and I'll speak to Fox Mountain Camping Park this way. The old days when it was in a field, cleanup took about a week. Gathering from the woods, and because it was my field where my cattle grazed afterwards, so it had to be cleaned up quite pristine. Now Sunday afternoon we say thanks a lot, Heidi, it's been fun, see ya, and they look after that. So on an organizational standpoint, it's awesome.
Well, yeah, that plug and play aspect, because obviously, I know what goes into this sort of thing. I mean, I'm not part of your group, but I mean, I participated last year. Throughout the course of last year, I talked to Jason, and he was talking about backline and what you guys had for PA, and who was doing sound, and different things people don't think about, right? Because you think you're going to put this festival on, people are just going to show up and it's going to be. And I'm going to guess that literally you guys probably take a couple weeks off or maybe a month off, and then you start talking about it again and start preparing for the next one. Is that an accurate statement?
Pretty much. Yeah. I know Jason did a post last year on Facebook saying, we get together, we kind of lick our wounds and see what's happening, and then we make the call. Is it going to happen or not? And so far, for 16 years, it's been yes.
Here we go.
Well, and one of the things I did a post on Barstool is, hey, because Jason and I did this last year where we tried to generate a little bit of interest, and we interviewed some of the acts, and so I did it again. And probably within an hour, I had, I don't know, 16 or 17 people that are like, hey, we want to do this. Says a lot. And some of them were, I interviewed Echo 7, I think they are, from Moncton. And, talking to them last night, and how excited they are to be coming from Moncton, because to them, it's a gig that they wouldn't get to play otherwise. So that must be a pretty neat feeling for you guys.
The backstage is awesome when you get talking to the people excited to be able to go on our stage. It's kind of humbling.
and everybody's the same. I don't care if you played however long or this kid's just played 6 months. If they're on the stage, respect each other.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And our audience respects.
Yeah,
like you don't have to worry about anybody blatting anything negative out. Like, it's just a friendly spot.
Yeah.
Something that I was super impressed with, and hopefully, you guys will appreciate this, but I've done shows where there's multiple acts, and if you get 45 minutes and the changeover is messed up, it drags on, and then the tail end of your night might be longer. But you guys are pretty adamant. This is your time, and if you mess around with it, it comes off your set time, and I think it keeps everybody in line and keeps things moving quickly. Would you agree with that?
Oh, buddy, it wasn't always like this. There's longevity in learning that, man. We've
That's one of the lessons learned.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a festival. It's gonna be great. Yeah, okay, good luck to you.
Yeah.
No, that doesn't go that way. There's
No.
there's no book on, hey, here's how to do this.
First couple of years, like our
buddy.
we had a 4 o'clock end time, which ended up being 6. It was 6 a.m. It was brutal.
And I know there's bands that pulled out and said, "Oh, this is just crazy," and I can't blame any of them
No.
because
No.
it was we didn't know how to run this thing, man. We knew what we wanted to do, but we didn't know what we were doing. It's time to fuck up and learn.
And when you're dealing with, 20 acts or whatever the number comes out to be over the weekend, you give that one act that extra song, and then all of a sudden you're 2 hours behind, and the other person loses out, like the other act loses out.
I remember telling you when I was playing, I said we got 40 minutes, and I think he's like, "Oh yeah, whatever, we got 40 minutes." And then when these guys pulled the plug on us, I was like, "What? I learned these songs and I want to play, man. I'm a big part of this thing."
I do remember that.
Comes, all right, that's it. But that's not even.
I do remember that too. You know what? We'll cover that in the next segment because actually, that was a thought that I had that I was thinking about. We're going to take a little break. We're going to come back for our last segment, Rimshots with Sean Eastlink Community TV. After this. So you would think that was a really short commercial break, but it actually wasn't. It wasn't that short. Rimshots with Sean on Eastlink Community TV, brand new thing. Actually, this is, I believe, our second episode. We were talking Riverfest with Jonathan, with Jason, and we were talking set times. And Jason filled in for us last year. We put together a set. We never rehearsed, man. It was sight unseen. Basically, he showed up. And I will say, you absolutely knocked it out of the park. But the funny thing was, you were right. You're like, what? We got like 2 more songs, and time was up. Just because you're the organizer, you don't get any special love, right?
I forget what they were now, but I so wanted to play them too. Oh well, but that's how it goes, right? So it can happen to me. Don't screw with your time. You've got 15 minutes before, you got 15 minutes after. You're working with the band before you or after you. Be friends, figuring how to do it, because if it eats into your 40 minutes, you ate into your 40 minutes. You know what I mean?
And we've had people already, they show up the back line. Oh, that's not good enough. I'm going to wire in all my own new back line, which takes 20 minutes. And then they play 2 songs and there's no real benefit to that. And I'm an untalented, no music ability guy, but really to wire in a new back line for that, it's a shame.
Yeah, we supply a back line, and if you feel free to bring something that you need to have to make your sound that good for that 40-minute set. But just remember, you got 40 minutes to play. Be smart about it. Bring a crew, bring friends, bring somebody sober that's not going to break stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
absolutely. And it's funny because I think my pedals, my sticks, and a drum riser, and that was it. And I used the back line. Everything was there, man. It sounded great. I saw the video. It sounded great. We had a great time. What I enjoyed, though, I played on the Friday night, and then I was able to kind of enjoy the rest of the festival for the rest of the weekend. So, got up early Saturday, got to see all the stuff that was going on. And you guys really have, like I said, there's something there for everybody. If you want to hear metal, you can hear metal. If you want to hear a cover band, you can hear a cover band. If you want to hear some folky stuff, you hear some folk. If you want to do karaoke, you guys are really throwing everything and the kitchen sink at people. And then not to mention, you mentioned backstage. Well, what a great spot right back there where you can kind of hang out. It's just really everything you need is like right on that location.
And we're happy. I've emceed some festivals where the act will go, they'll play, and then they're asked to leave. Like you get paid for your play and that's it. But we get to offer you to come for the weekend, bring a guest if you're playing, and there's discounts there and whatnot. So it hopefully will make a better weekend for everybody involved that way too.
Yeah, one of the things and I was talking to Crouse from Rebel Prospects, and so I had known those guys a little bit because I had seen them at a show at Monty's, but they were staying, I guess, right beside me. So it was like, anytime I went up to the stage, I'd walk past them and we'd kind of interact. And my buddy Peter Arsenault's band Chester Doom was like across the way. It kind of had, I wouldn't call it Woodstock, but a Woodstockish communal kind of feel where, hey, if you want to borrow a couple sugar, you walk across the way and away you go. But, if you want to borrow some guitar strings and get up on the stage, you can do that too.
Everyone's good to get along with. We've really, over the years, we've not really had any issues with idiots, really, for the most part. that's something to say right there. But that's just not who we attract. Maybe they know that you're not going to fit in here. You know, I don't know how it works, but not to say we haven't had people.
We've dealt with
Excited.
situations, but
But nothing major.
very lucky.
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing too about the new location, which I liked, is you're 12 to 13 minutes from Berwick, where you can go into town and grab some groceries or hit the Bargain Harry's or whatever the heck it is, and so it's pretty cool. So I mean, you guys are generating probably a little bit of revenue for the town there too, so they can't not like that, I guess, in a sense.
I know we used to get that comment a lot in Bridgewater. The Walmart and the Canadian Tire loved us. The gas stations loved us because people would go, they'd break a tent, they'd go buy a new one, or they'd need gas to get home or whatever. So I'm assuming the same is true in the Valley. We just haven't heard a lot of feedback that way because they know that Heidi puts on shows at Fox Mountain. So we're just one of those shows.
Yeah, fair enough. And I mean, sometimes that can be taken for granted where, if you have a campground or something that does that in a regular, but you know what, people are just going to show up. And so this year when I go there, I'm gonna ask the merchants, because I know, man, they'll be feeling it. Like I met a guy, was probably at the Tim Hortons, and he actually came up later on the Saturday and checked it out, which was kind of cool. So, it's pretty neat.
Come on.
Come on. So, we're getting down to the short strokes here. Who do we got on the bill this year?
Oh, let me grab my phone. There's too many for me to spew up.
Lost.
Ramble for a second.
Well, I know we've got one this year that wasn't there last. He had been to every one until last year, and that was Sassabilias, who's he was the lead singer of Mir. If you go years back,
yep,
they were an international band, and they actually showed up one year in mopeds, froze their butts off, and said, "We're coming every year from Halifax."
Nice.
That's one.
All right, I got the rest right in front of me. You guys, Michelle Ryder and Side Hustle, me and Sean McCarty, Maurice, Poison Cherry, Echo 7, Chester Doom, Threeser, the Rebel Prospects, Shadow of Everest, Only Vultures Left, Spirits in Prison, Nomad Sky, Sweet Spot, Dogs of Sun, The Relics, Topless Models, Brian Doucette Band, Midnight Jenny, The Shifters, Fault Line, Amy Project, The Funkosphere Express, the Fabulous Pontoona Brothers, Dark Asteroid, and The Game Changers. Sorry if I screwed any of that up.
And
the karaoke, don't forget that.
There, yeah. And the good thing is, you go through that list, some of them have been on our stage before, but there's a lot of new names there too.
Gotta try to mix it up.
It is. It's great.
Everyone gets on every year.
Last question here, gentlemen. We got about a little over a minute. So, I've been barking about Riverfest since I was there last year. How do people find out about it? How do they get tickets? What's the process? Where do they go?
rockthebush.com. Yeah, that's right there too. Actually, I can do that.
Yeah. It'll be there once it gets all doctored.
Yeah. Rockthebush.com. Or
Yeah.
if you're on Facebook, just check it out there, and that'll lead you right from our Facebook page. Will lead you anywhere you got to go. Right.
And I'll end by this. A lot of people hear me talk about Jason. Jason's almost like my Mr. Snuffleupagus. If they haven't seen him, but I've got a tattoo on my arm that he did. He does all my creative. He does a lot of creative for other folks. And he's actively seeking new business, folks. So jasonmccorriston.com maybe, or something. I don't know. I'll find you somewhere. But guys, thanks a lot for doing this. I'm really looking forward to it. Like I say, I had such a great time last year. 40 minutes was almost too short, but man, what a party afterwards. I really enjoyed it.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for having us.
Looking forward to this year. Rock the bush.
Rock the bush. And thanks for watching Rimshots with Sean at Eastlink Community TV, folks. See you next time.